Breaking news, the new head of Paramount telling CNN he is standing by South Park after another utterly scathing episode about the Trump administration. The latest episode hitting a nerve, prompting Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem to publicly respond to South Park's unflattering portrayal of her. Here she is with Glenn Beck.
Yeah, it never ends, but it's so lazy to just constantly make fun of women for how they look. Only the liberals and the extremists do that. If they wanted to criticize my job, go ahead and do that, but clearly they can't. They just pick something petty like that.
South Park, which has not let up on its brutal criticism of Trump week after week, is the #1 streamed show in the United States right now. The #1 streamed show. So people are watching this. And that is something the White House, which tried to dismiss the show as irrelevant and saying no one watched it, which of course is factually inaccurate, they don't want to hear it. Brian Stelter is out front.
Hey, Satan! Meet the new face of Homeland Security.
Whoa! Oh my God! I just want to go. This place is gross.
South Park, insulting Mar-a-Lago, Trump's manhood, VP J.D. Vance, and this week, reserving most of its scorn for...
Welcome to the team, recruits. I'm Kristi Noem, head of Homeland Security.
The show drawing from a real-life scandal.
A few years ago, I had to put my puppy down by shooting it in the face. Because sometimes doing what's important means doing what's hard.
Turning dog deaths into a theme of the episode.
Mr. Mackey?
When Trump budget cuts caused the school counselor to look for a job with ICE.
All right, recruits, this is it. We're heading to a location that might be filled with illegals. Let's take these bad hombres down.
South Park emerging this summer as one of the Trump administration's fiercest critics.
Remember, only detain the brown ones.
One reviewer saying, you can feel Matt Stone and Trey Parker's disdain in every frame.
What?
The creators of South Park let it rip 2 weeks ago, leading the White House to claim the show, quote, hasn't been relevant for over 20 years. But actually...
Hey, buddy, welcome to Mar-a-Lago.
Oh, thank you, Mr. President.
What is it fantasy, Buff? Hey, will you get out of here?
South Park ratings are way up.
I want to make you the new face of Homeland Security.
But, Mr. President, I thought Kristi Noem was the face of Homeland Security.
Yeah, she was, but her face freaks me out. So what do you say?
And social chatter is through the roof.
I'm proud to work for the ICE.
Immigration and customs enforcement. If you need a job, it's a job to have.
And Trump officials are trying to show they're in on the jokes, not just the butt of them. Vance posting on X today, well, I've finally made it.
So let's get out there and get them, recruits. Together, we can make it happen.
All of this creating corporate intrigue, since South Park airs on Paramount's Comedy Central, and Paramount just cut a deal with Trump. The $16 million legal settlement was widely seen as a payoff in exchange for the Trump FCC approving Paramount's merger with Skydance, though Paramount denied any connection. The merger took effect this morning, with the FCC's lone Democrat, Anna Gomez, calling it a company born in shame.
What we saw in this Paramount Skydance transaction was the company capitulated in a very cowardly manner to the demands of this administration. We need a checked power, not unchecked power, in order to maintain our democratic norms.
So Gomez telling CNN that media moguls are betraying the public's trust. You know, Paramount recently canceled big-name Trump critic Stephen Colbert's show. So what about South Park? Well, today I asked the company's new CEO, David Ellison, if South Park's scathing Trump criticism is a problem for the company. Ellison indicated, no, it's not. He praised the show's creators. He told me he's been a fan of the show for decades. And he said, quote, they are equal opportunity offenders and always have been. There is one big difference between Stephen Colbert and South Park. The Late Show was losing money for years, while South Park is, in Ellison's words, highly profitable and a huge hit on streaming. Aaron?
Yeah, #1 stream show in America right now. All right, Brian, thank you very much. And out front now, the one and only Kara Swisher, host of the podcasts On with Kara Swisher and Pivot. And Kara, so all this, talk of David Ellison defending South Park, you were actually with him today. You were with David Ellison and the whole management team earlier today. And And he's standing by South Park. I mean, do you buy that in the context of Colbert and everything else?
Well, that was the previous administration. They just bought it this morning. Just remember, it was early this morning where the transaction completed. So they didn't own it until today. So now they can talk about it. And he supported it there. He certainly did. And as he said, he's a fan of it. It's funny. So. And it's a big hit, and the previous owners paid $20 billion, I guess, to keep them there, and so they have to support them. They're in business with South Park, and South Park is funny, and so I think they won't have a problem supporting them in this case. In this case, because it makes money.
So as you say, right, and as he said, #1 show on streaming. I mean, it'd be pretty hard to find an excuse to get rid of that one, even if you were looking for it. But that merger did just close today, right? And it's gotten so much attention because of all this, right? It took a whole lot to actually get to where we are right now, including that $16 million settlement with Trump against CBS and 60 Minutes, canceling Colbert, which, of course, they did say was a financial decision, but obviously one Trump applauded and has now said that was so great, get rid of all these other late-night hosts on other networks. They eliminated the DEI programs. They created a new ombudsman to field complaints of bias. Yeah. And Ellison today said, quote, "Today marks day one of a new Paramount." So, Kara, I mean, just, call it like you see it. Is this new Paramount, when people are worried about free press and corporate CEOs bending the knee to Trump, is Paramount about pleasing Trump?
I think that we'll see. We'll have to see. They just bought it. I can't, ultimately, a lot of those deals you were talking about, they were all Sherry Redstone in order to get the deal done. She wanted to get her money. She had a declining asset. It went from 8 to 10, her value. And so she did all those deals, the previous group of people who owned it. Now we'll see what he does when he owns it and what he thinks about it. He definitely went out of his way today to be non-political whatsoever. He would not answer questions about that. He did give support to journalism. He did give support to CBS News. His first meeting was with CBS News and 60 Minutes. And he said that's an indication. If that's an indication, that's who I met with first. George Cheeks, who runs the network, defended the closing of the Colbert Show as a monetary financial one. Other people argue with him about that, but he did continue with that line today. We'll see. We'll have to see. You can't say someone's going to do something until they actually do it. And so they've put a lot of money in here, including the Ellisons. So we'll see what happens when they do that.
I remember, Carrie, you and I, various conversations we've had so far this year. We talked about inauguration and, how Zuckerberg's there and Tim Cook is there and Bezos is there and everybody was there to be on the right side of Trump. So then caught my eye yesterday in the middle of, Trump was answering questions talking about Epstein being a hoax, okay? But the person, I looked at at first an image and I said, wait, what's Tim Cook doing there? Because it all happened when Tim Cook was there. And Tim Cook went to see Trump, CEO of Apple, in the center of the whole tariff imbroglio, and he gives Trump a plaque. And the plaque happens to come on a 24-karat gold base. So when Cook hands it to Trump, his hands are almost...
I'm just saying, you're saying it happened to come.
His hands are trembling a little bit.
They picked it for that. They picked the gold
part.
So...
And he talked about, he said, it was made in the United States, right, for Trump. It wasn't imported from China. It was designed by a former U.S. Marine who works at Apple. So, look, this whole Trump and Cook being together, and Trump now said, gosh, this is so amazing. Cook is so amazing. So different than what he was saying about Cook in May and the center of the tariff war. Here's what he said.
I had a little problem with Tim Cook yesterday. I said to him, Tim, you're my friend. I treated you very good. You're coming in with $500 billion, but now I hear you're building all over India. I don't want you building in India.
Now he's got the plaque and everything. I mean, is this what it takes to do business with Trump? You got to go in, have this personal meeting, and give him a really fancy gold plaque?
Yes, that's what it takes to do business with Trump. I don't know what to say. I mean, obviously, it was kind of laughable. And, Tim is a very strong CEO. He's done very well by his shareholders, and he's focused on his shareholders. And what it takes to give Donald Trump a trinket, he'll give him a trinket. That's just really what's happening here. They have said they were going to invest various amounts of money previously and made announcements, and it haven't really become that big. A lot of these things are press releases for these companies in order to get on the good side of Trump. It will satisfy Trump, and then he may give him a break on tariffs. He's done that before. Apple is very exposed in China and other places, and so they've got to get some relief. And so if what he has to do is visit Donald Trump and hand him another piece of gold for that office, he's going to do it. And so are all these people. I know you're shocked, but you're shocked that gambling is going on in this place.
I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked. I guess it makes sense. They're doing the right thing for their company. But of course,
Correct.
There's the right thing in the small, and that might be the wrong thing in the big. I guess it's the struggle with all of that. All right, Kara, thank you so much.
They have shareholders. Just remember that. And that's their constituency, whether you like it or not. So.
Right. All right, Kara, thank you very much.